Hi, Mrs. Bigham. Just ignore this headset thing. It's the best way I could get audio quality. Um, but yeah, so I'm going to talk about my paper, which is titled The Effects of 3D Printing. And so I guess we'll start with what is 3D printing? So 3D printing is the automated way of manufacturing an object using layering of some sort, and it's all computer programs, so there's no mistakes. Um, Obviously, most people know about the plastic 3D printing, but you can print in all sorts of materials like metals and composites, and I'll get into that stuff later. But a big premise of my paper was the fact that 3D printing is one of the fastest growing industry in manufacturing, and this is, I mean, it makes sense because 3D printers are ran by just computers, and they can, as long as you have power and the resources necessary to run them, they can run 24/7 and they often don't make mistakes. And if they do, the mistakes are minor. And it's also it's very helpful for safety. So no workers are to be injured during the process of making stuff. So you can see it's very efficient, and the cost to produce something is very small compared to what it would take a human to make a product. So this is why it's the fastest growing industry in manufacturing of all sorts of stuff. Um, I just pulled up this Forbes website. I wanted to note that the website says that it's one of the fastest that is the fastest growing industry, manufacturing. But I actually have it's on my yes, this. Okay, so for industry, 3D printing has grown by 21%, and in 2018, the cost is over 7.3 billion. So that's pretty cool. Um, so next in the paper, I want to talk about is is 3D printing taking jobs away from U.S. citizens, or the yeah. Um, so in a short answer is yes, it is, but it is creating more jobs than it's taken away. With the application of 3D printers, you can create so many more new jobs that it's um, insignificant how many jobs it takes away. So any business owner can buy a 3D printer. 3D printers range from anywhere from $130 to $2.5 million. If you want a quality 3D printer to make some type of prototype, if you're a business owner, it would probably range from like $400 to $500 to make something quality and usable that you can present to people. But so yeah, if you're trying to start your own business, you can have a 3D printer. You have an idea, you make a prototype, and you can instantly show people what it is, and it's better for marketing. Um, yeah, it's really good for startup businesses. And also, a lot of the manufacturing that we do in the United States, we outsource to China because it is a lot cheaper to um, manufacture in China because the work rules and stuff like that. They don't pay their workers as much. So it's probably better for both our country and their country. Um, they might be able to fix labor laws in China, but that's a whole different topic. Another topic that I addressed in my paper is medical applications because I found this extremely fascinating. So it's pretty um, a lot of it is under research. They've been doing research for a couple of years, so it's kind of new. But 3D printing has really affected the medical field because obviously prosthetics, like if you wanted to make like a prosthetic arm for someone, uh, 3D printing is so compatible with the application. So um, you can make each arm custom made for the patient. So it's better for their use. So that's obviously one field where it would grow, but also they've started to use 3D printers to make tissue cells. So they're trying to artificially print uh, just tissue cells. So instead of taking skin grafts and putting them onto other parts of your body, they're finding ways to make artificial tissue cells that you can used for human bodies. The research isn't complete, obviously, like it's very extremely hard to make artificial tissue cells, but in the upcoming years, his website talks about how we could possibly find how the tissue cells are being made, the research behind it, and it's talking about how in the upcoming years we could possibly even make artificial functioning organs like livers or hearts. Eventually, we want to be able to make those so the shortage of organ transplants could be solved through 3D printing. Uh, Yeah, so I thought this was extremely cool. They're also thinking about making or they actually use 3D printers for dental implants and a lot of orthodontics. Another topic was now that 3D printers are becoming more and more, they're becoming more and more, what's the word, available to people because they're becoming less and less expensive. We have to be aware of pollution that they obviously make. So when you're burning a plastic, that's obviously not good for the quality of the air. So this website talks about how you can prevent harm when you're printing something. So obviously you want to stay away from it. You don't want it to be like in your bedroom while you're sleeping and it's printing something because you can breathe in those fumes. They could possibly be toxic to your health. And it also talks, it's just a website talking about the awareness of how printing 3D printer companies need to make better filters, I guess. They need to focus more on the filters because eventually, if 3D printers become widely available to like every household, we need some sort of way to stop or reduce the pollution in the air because it could be harmful, just like any other product. Next thing, I guess, next part of my paper was talking about the future of 3D printing, and I thought this one was pretty cool. So I looked up how the 3D printers could affect us in the future, and I found out that they're thinking about making 3D printers for fast food industries. So obviously, fast food industries, you just have a clear cut recipe and you make the food, but they could eventually implement 3D printers so that the food could just be popped out in a matter of seconds. Um, so this website's talking about all that stuff and how you might find, I guess at your McDonald's you could find a 3D printer in the back just printing off your food, but it also makes some pretty intricate like designs with pastries, and that's pretty cool. So the food industry could be changed by 3D printing too. Basically, every industry with production of any sort will be affected by 3D printing if it continues at the rate that it is. It's just a faster and more accurate way of making stuff. So, next topic was talking about all the different types of materials that we could possibly print with. Obviously, I talked about the metals, the tissue cells, but you can print in like any material. They're making jewelry based off of 3D printing. You can put diamond material in it or silver, copper, all the rare gemstones, and you can make intricate designs. So that's what this website is talking about. Pretty cool. Yeah, you can basically they're trying to make every material in the world printable, which obviously will take a lot of time, but if they can make it happen, that'd be awesome. You could print anything. Um, this website's also talking about the future of 3D printing. So one of the biggest things that they want is just to get the printers more accurate and at a to complete the object at a faster rate. So that's what the future may look like. And this website also talks about an ideal factory that is ran off of only 3D printers and robots. So there's no one in the factory. Everything is just run by computers. And 3D printing does most of the manufacturing, which it would be pretty cool. But that's like in the far, far future if they get the technology. It's an ideal future. But just something to point out that I point out in the paper. Um, I guess the last thing I wanted to talk about is the facts that I found. So obviously I talked about what 3D printing is, but So the cost, the printers can range anywhere from $130 to $2.5 million. The $2.5 million printers are actually uh, printers in China that print off entire structures, like entire buildings at one time. So that's why they're so expensive. For production in 2016 to 2018, a reported 528,952 3D printers were manufactured and sold, and the projection for 2019 is only increasing. So I thought that was pretty fascinating. That's a ton of printers. And obviously, I talked about the medical application. So medical, they're doing research. Obviously, they can print some type of tissue cells, but they are doing research to print organs, which would be amazing for the future. In 2019, an estimated $1.9 billion in research for artificial tissues and 3D medical printing technology will be spent. So yeah, that was pretty much the premise of my paper. It was just talking about how 3D printers are the state of it now and how it could affect the future. So yes, thanks for listening and watching.